Hello everyone and welcome to class. Today's subject is going to be on Cuban motion, one of the most significant actions used in Latin ballroom dance, and it is indeed the one that differentiates our style from all the other styles out there. So what is Cuban motion? We hear it all the time, but sometimes we're confused about what is that action consisting of. And in fact, it's consisting of two actions that are coordinated together. The first one is the pendulum swing, and the second one is the rotation. So let's dive into both and how they correlate together. First, the pendulum swing. If you are shifting your weight from side to side, whether it's significant, meaning entire body weight shifts on one leg, entire body weight shifts on the other leg, or you are moving partially, so you stay between the feet, but still that weight is moving from side to side, you will notice that your hips respond to that movement. So try that together with me. Of course, build your posture, but feel how there is a space and lightness in your hips that allows them to move from side to side. This action into the hip, which is actually a reaction of the weight transfer, is called pendulum swing. And it's called pendulum because of the shape that it creates as it moves through. If I'm standing on one leg and I'm receiving my weight onto that one leg, the hip basically tilts slightly upward. So that is the top part of the swing. I place the leg, and now when I transfer my weight through, that is where the lower part of the pendulum occurs, and then it finishes on an upswing again. When I move through to the other foot, that repeats itself. So the pendulum is the movement of the hips in response to a weight shift. If you have a closed foot position and you are just switching the weight from side to side, that pendulum can also and should also occur in that movement. The rotation, on the other hand, is a more forward and back experience of rotating and bringing the hip back with regards to the spine. So if I am in profile and I keep my hips absolutely neutral, now I can rotate my hip back and I can bring it to neutral position, or I can bring my hip forward and then I would bring it to neutral position. So that feeling of rotation is bringing the hip into opposition with the spine. So you can think that the pendulum action is working more this way, the rotation is working more that way. Now, the Cuban motion is a combination of those two. In other words, if I take a side step that is shoulder width apart, and now I apply my pendulum action from side to side. I'm just using my feet in a side movement. Now from there towards the end, I can say I will apply a little bit of rotation into the right hip, and then I'm going to go over to the left side. Apply rotation to the left hip, and then I'm going to go over to the right side. Rotation, pendulum, rotation, pendulum, rotation. When I address the Cuban motion, that feeling of pendulum is very often experienced not only sideways into my feet, but in fact forward, to the side, to back through the rotation. Diagonal forward to side to back. So if you see that in profile, my hips aligned with my shoulders. If I only do pendulum, my hips will be moving right underneath my shoulder line. If I'm doing pendulum into rotation, that hip is going to actually go in front of my right shoulder, and then through the rotation I will go through the neutral to the back part, and then again diagonal forward into rotation, diagonal forward into rotation. Remember to sustain your posture as you are experiencing that weight shift. So you have heard that has been likened to the figure 8. Make sure you experience the figure 8 like an infinity sign, meaning that the pendulum is going diagonal straight line, and there is the rotation, diagonal straight line, and there is the rotation, instead of circle, circle, circle. So the wrong way will be circle, 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 circle. That will create a lot of bouncing. Instead of diagonal line, rotate, diagonal line, rotate, diagonal line, rotate, diagonal line, rotate. What that will give is the feeling that inside the foot that you are going towards, you will experience more pressure to the front of the foot, ball and toe. If you do a round, you're actually feeling much more the back part of the foot, and you can easily lose balance there. So let's try it again, just into a rocking action, then into a time step, and afterwards into a cucaracha. So shoulder width apart, and we're doing the rock. So don't take your heels off the floor, and just feel the forward side back into the rotation, into the pendulum swing. If we add a timing now to that, in rumba, that will be 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and Ducati, Ducati, dum dum Ducati, 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 dum dum Ducati, 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 dum dum dum. Forward side back, forward side back, forward side back. Dunkatik, dunkatik, gong gong gong. Rakatik, rakatik, dong gong gong.